Welcome to Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. They say April showers bring May flowers. And while there are certainly flowers blooming throughout Portsmouth, the month of May also sees the return of annual art shows, festivals, parades, sports, and outdoor markets. Stay tuned. We'll tell you about more of them right here and right now on this episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to Portsmouth Now. We're going to look at what's happening throughout the city this May. A new season of Little League Baseball has begun, and all over Hampton Roads, teams have returned to their respective fields. But when the Craddock Little League team here in Portsmouth returned to their field this April, they found it had undergone some significant changes and improvements, thanks to Facebook and the generosity of the Tidewater Tides. Back in March, we visited some of the folks in the Craddock Little League to learn more details. Here's what they told us.
I'm Rebecca Regan, and I'm the concession manager and the T-ball director for Craddock Little League. I came here about 4 years ago looking to coach and manage and pass my knowledge of softball on to some hopeful young girls.
I'm Frank Thompson. I'm the president here at Craddock Little League. I've been with the league for about 7 years now, but this is my first year as president.
The Norfolk Tides contest came about 5 years ago, and we've entered in every year.
It's a Facebook contest in which the league that gets the most likes of their picture on Facebook gets a field makeover by the grounds crew of the Norfolk Tides.
We submitted our pictures and basically showed what our league is about. Our league pictures that we actually submitted were of our field, but also of our children out here who were raking one day, and we took a picture of them because we thought it wasn't even for the Tides contest, it was just they were cleaning up one day, and we took a picture of it, and we thought that would be an excellent representation of who our league is.
This is I believe the 5th year of the contest, and this is our 5th year competing. And this is this year we obviously had the most votes we've ever had. Our previous high was about 500 votes, and this year we almost had 3,000. So we're very excited. Our fans, parents, board members, family members, relatives all participated and helped us out a lot.
When you walk through our complex, you're not seeing parents' faces or the coaches' faces, you're seeing your friends, because that's how our league is. We are community-based, and we work very hard to make sure our kids and our parents have a safe and nice place to be and a clean place to be.
And we knew that we were a smaller league, so we really had to do a lot of work from the very beginning, because if you do a lot of work in the beginning, it sort of blossoms and takes off. So at 10 o'clock on Monday morning when the contest hit, we hit the ground rolling. We started talking to, sending out Facebook requests, tagging our friends and family and in the post, and from that it just took off. We had a couple of parents that really did a lot of work every day. They were on there, hey, like our picture, tagging their friends. We had several board members did the same thing, and after a few days it just took off from there. Our fields are located here at the St. Julian's Creek Naval Annex in Portsmouth, Virginia. We have a partnership between the city of Portsmouth as well as the U.S. Navy, the shipyard, and then of course the local community here in Craddock. And we bring all those people together, and that's why we have such a great league. The particular field that we're having redone for the makeover contest is our major baseball field, which of course if you watch the Little League World Series, those are the kids that play at the major baseball level, 9 through 12-year-olds primarily. And we figured that this field serves the most kids. It wasn't necessarily the field in the worst condition, although it does need a lot of work, but it serves the most kids. This is where we have most of our events. So we're very thankful that the Tides are going to redo this for us and make it look good for the rest of the season.
The Tides plan is to come out here, and actually they're going to level off this field that you see behind me actually. There are some lips that are go around the inner circle of the grass, and also some lips on the outside of it. And those lips have actually caused some bad ball hops to go up, and we've had a couple of injuries, but it's more about, you know, kids getting tripped up and stuff like that. It's not that it's not safe, it's just that it needs to be leveled out.
The Tides are going to come in, they're going to level it out, they're going to add new dirt and new absorbent material to help with the drainage.
Our field does have some drainage issues right along here in third baseline, and they're going to come out here and put some more absorbent stuff out here to help dry it out some, because that does cause some issues when we can't play. You know what I mean? And we can miss a lot of games just because the field doesn't drain properly.
They're going to redo some of the grass, the lines, work on the dugouts, they're going to work on the press box, and just little odds and ends that we need to make the field look, the best possible that we can.
Hopefully we can get some of the dugouts. The roofs are bowing in. There's some rotten wood around the trim.
The dugouts certainly need some work on the roofs. Some of the trim around the roof is rotting. The roof itself has some patches as well. We're going to work on that, and the tiles are also going to help to redo the roofs and the trim around it. Drainage issues, a lot of times the dugouts will flood. They're going to try to help level off the area around the dugout and alter the drainage so that the water flows away from the dugouts.
I'd first like to thank the parents and the children and the board members who all went on Facebook and liked our picture. That was what really propelled us to win this competition. As for the Norfolk Tides, I think that they see just how much we give back to our community, so it's a great thing to see the bigger guy come back to us little guys and give us something special.
That's great. In mid-April, the Tidewater Tide sent their crews out to refurbish the Craddock Little League field. A few days later, we went back to check out the improvements. Well, Frank, we're back here today, and the work has been done on the field. And how many days did it take them to redo it?
Took them a day and a half because of rain. They had to put in a full day yesterday, and they were able to finish up yesterday about 3 p.m.
Wow. So it looks like a different place here a few weeks ago. So tell me what we're seeing. What do they do?
Yeah, well, I think the field speaks for itself. They came in and they leveled out the entire field, graded it. We're able to rebuild our pitcher's mound and our home plate area using clay bricks and mound clay. They also added an entire layer of turfus absorbent material, so when it rains here we can still play our games and not have to cancel them for 2 or 3 days at a time. After the rain, we noticed there was a lot of puddles and pooling in the outfield, so they agreed to come out here and fill those in and add some absorbent material out there. And now our outfield is good as new also. They did some work on our dugouts for us. They were up here painting the dugouts, replaced some of the trim, and today the Norfolk Naval Shipyard showed up and they replaced our doors and our press boxes.
That's great.
Yes, we're very happy to have all the support from the community.
And I understand that they left you a home plate?
They did, right. You see new bases, and also home plate is actually an in-game plate from the Tide Stadium at Harbor Park. So the kids are excited about that, and we're just excited to have this beautiful field out here.
Well, congratulations on winning the prize this year.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. We're very excited.
Coming up next on Portsmouth Now, a look at the Old Town Farmers Market and the annual Gosport Art Festival. Stay tuned.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing you. Believe me, I'm good at it. But at some point, you're going to need to start pushing yourself.
See, once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them. You can't change your past, but you can definitely change your future.
That makes me so happy, I'm ready to bust out a dance.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? My gentle technique isn't really working. You need something a little more
persuasive.
Yes.
You listen, and you listen good.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Terry? Terry!
Take it from me, the King DMC. It's a real cool thing to get your GED.
Get that diploma!
Now hold on and we'll find you free GED classes. Capiche?
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, welcome back to Portsmouth Now. We're checking out all the events that are taking place in the month of May. And in May, the Farmers Market in Old Town reopens. And if you have not been there, you really need to go there and see what they have. I'm talking now with Terry Danaher, whose official title, I believe, is Queen of the Old Town Farmers Market.
Yeah, I sort of feel that way sometimes, yes.
But you're the volunteer manager.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Every market needs a manager, and I am the lucky manager of our market here in Portsmouth.
And you get an apron for having that position.
I have an apron, which was a gift from, actually from the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services.
Wow.
They had a workshop, and many of us attended it to find out just what was involved in managing a farmer's market. Found out too much information and decided to do it anyway. And they gave us a little apron so that we could have authority. This is my authority apron.
Okay, well, I defer to it then.
Thank you, you may bow.
So, now the market is reopening this month in May.
Actually, it opened April 26th.
April 26th,
and
okay.
it will run through December 20th. It's the last Saturday in December before the Christmas holidays.
Okay, so you take a few months off during the winter?
Yes, we do. Although we do have CSA deliveries during that time from some of our vendors, so people are still being served by the market, but we don't have a physical presence at Court and High Streets where we usually are.
Okay, Court and High Street. Yeah, most people, maybe if they haven't been there, don't realize this is around the old 1846 courthouse is where the market is set up.
Yes, it's a lovely site. There's a beautiful courtyard there at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center, and it's this beautiful courtyard, historic building. It's got a great wrought iron fence around it, trees overhanging. People come in and play music in the courtyard. It's overall, it is just a great setting. It's a very social event, the market is, and that just adds a lot of atmosphere to it.
So what day of the week is the market?
It's on Saturdays from 9 until 1 during the high season, which goes through October here in our part of the world. Then in November, we shift to 10 o'clock and stay open until 1 o'clock because it gets a little cold out there. So people tend not to come until a little bit later in the day anyway.
Well, this time of year it's nice and warm and people are out strolling. What types of things will they find at the farmer's market?
Well, it's early for vegetables, so there won't be any tomatoes or strawberries yet for the most part. There may be some. We have on occasion had some farmers who had hoop houses or greenhouses, and they've brought in a few strawberries, and the lucky people who get there at 9 o'clock, get first dibs and walk off with them. But for the most part, we're looking at still some winter vegetables, early spring, and what we have, which is the greatest vegetable in the world as far as I'm concerned, is asparagus. So we'll have that for for the opening week. We've had it, and we have it for probably a month. It's asparagus season now, so it's wonderful, and our farmer, Brothers Farm, carries that, and they're out there picking it right now, in fact. So it's I can't wait. I love asparagus.
I've just grilled some the other night for dinner.
Yes, right. Yeah. So we're looking at that sort of thing. There will still be apples. Berries are starting to come in. By the middle of May, we're starting to see a lot more, especially if the weather doesn't turn back into winter and stays spring and summer. Like, we should see a lot of good produce coming for the early season.
Okay, now is there other things, meat, dairy, baked goods, things like that as well?
We have beef. This year we have pork. One of our farmers started raising heritage pigs last year. So these are real pigs. These are not all shoved together and shed somewhere. They've been raised on a farm. They eat the same food we do. In fact, the farmer takes what he doesn't sell at the market and feeds it to his pigs. And I got a pre-taste. I got to taste a leg, and it was delicious because it's real pork. It is not injected with water to bring up its weight. It's not mistreated somewhere. It is delicious. So
and they eat better than I do.
They do. They eat
leftovers from the market.
They eat better than I do sometimes. Depends on my budget. And so these are pigs that get asparagus. I mean, these are amazing pigs. So we have pork for the first time. We have seafood. We have a lot of baked goods, and this year for the first time we'll have bagels, which is really nice. We sell handmade soaps and lotions, candles, beeswax, honey, jam and jelly, and we have a lot of crafts too. So we kind of cover the whole spectrum for a market in our little space there.
And in that little space, the feeling really is very festive. You feel like you're just out among people having a good time, even if you don't buy anything.
Yeah, a lot of people come and they'll buy one thing, and then they'll sit in the courtyard around a table with friends and chat and, you know, have a good time. And it's such a pleasure to see people enjoying the city that way.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people will go and stroll up and down the street, check out the shops that are open, the museums. Typically, there are some really good programs going on at the Art and Cultural Center, including some fantastic art programs.
Yeah.
And then down the street, of course, is the Children's Museum of Virginia, and then we've got the Sports Hall of Fame down there. And we have galleries, and all the way up from High Street to Effingham, or actually past High Street down to the riverfront. We have all kinds of things for people to do and see. So we get quite a few people who enjoy the city. They come for the day. So it's great.
Well, great. Well, thanks for taking time to come here and tell us all about it. And be sure to check out the Farmers Market every Saturday morning from 9 till 1 p.m.
Yes.
Thanks for telling us about it.
Thank you very much. Take care.
The Gosport Art Festival is a 44-year-old tradition in Hampton Roads. May 10th and 11th will mark the festival's 14th year in Portsmouth's Old Town. The Arts Festival benefits Edmark Hospice for Children, a special local charity that was the first of its kind in the nation, and which is also located in Old Town. To find out more about the festival and the charity that benefits, we talked to two of the event's organizers.
My name is Jessica Plank. I've been with the Gosport Arts Festival for the last 8 years. Previously as an employee with Edmark, very passionate about the show, and since I have since left and moved on to a different career, I wanted to continue to give back, and so the way to do that was to actually help direct the show for this year.
I'm Debbie Steitzer-Brame, and I'm the Executive Director for Edmark Hospice for Children. And Edmark is the beneficiary of the Gosport Arts Festival that is coming up on Mother's Day weekend and has been on Mother's Day weekend since its inception.
The show actually started in Norfolk. I believe this is our 44th year. It didn't change to Gosport Arts Festival until it came over to Portsmouth, which was, I do believe, 10 years ago. And so it was started by a woman named Millie Johnson, and she had been the director up until 4 years ago and had to give it up for various reasons. And so several of us on the committee stepped up to keep it going. It's a hugely important festival. Not only does it benefit Edmark at this time, but it has benefited several charities throughout the years. But since it's been in Portsmouth, it has always, Edmark Hospice for Children has been the beneficiary.
It really has been a marriage made in heaven, truly, because the city has embraced it. The people who live here in the city have embraced it, and then we've brought so many new folks who really have never seen the hidden treasures that Old Town Portsmouth has to offer. And once they come and they walk the streets and visit the art show, they come back, and they often will come back year after year. So the show itself and having the artists come, we've seen some routine people come back and exhibit their artwork, and they do a pretty good job, I think, on sales too. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't keep coming back. But the community seems to really...
Aside from the fact that it benefits Edmark, because that certainly is a near and dear organization to my heart, I'm also a huge fan of art, and we have vendors that come from all over the country. I think this year our farthest artist is coming from California. We've had artists from Maine, Washington State, Arizona, in the middle of the country. So the artists that come really represent pretty much our whole nation. And it's a really great way to highlight Portsmouth, not only to the Hampton Roads area, but to cities outside of us as well.
The Gosport Arts Festival is designed to be an arts festival. So there are artists, there's food, there's music, there really is something for everyone that weekend. Now, there's also a charitable component that's built into it. The group itself is comprised of volunteers from Edmark and staff of Edmark. We have two co-chairs this year, Shelley and Jess, and they've done a great job leading the force. And what we do is we have the artists pay a small fee, and that pays essentially for their booth. Whatever they sell is theirs. So where Edmark comes into play, the charitable component is that all the sponsorship money that comes in and our silent auction that we have throughout the weekend is where we're able to raise money to help support the programs that Edmark provides. But I'll tell you something more importantly that we're doing is we are raising some money. and that's very important. However, we're also raising awareness about the need for pediatric hospice and palliative care, and raising awareness for the support programs that we have at Edmark, so that in our bereavement program, for instance, no child is ever going to go without the support they need when they experience the loss of someone that they love. So, and that's really, I think, why the Gosport Arts Festival was designed initially, is because they wanted to do something for the community, bring folks in to let them see the great things that Old Town has to offer, but in addition to that, build that charitable component, because we, and I use that phrase loosely, we, people, our community, we want to support people in our community who need help. And that's part of what Gosport's mission is.
Edmark Hospice for Children is a pediatric hospice, and so they take care of children who have potentially life-threatening illnesses. The goal of Edmark is to keep our kids at home as much as possible, keep them out of the hospital, and keep them out of the doctor's offices whenever possible. Edmark has nurses that are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that, you know, if little Jimmy pulls his trach out in the middle of the night, instead of the whole family having to get up and go to the emergency room, they can call us and we can come out and take care of them. We also provide social support to the families. We have social workers that are on staff to help with all the non-medical needs that they have. And Edmark is a hospice. We do have a lot of children who actually win their battles, but we also have a lot that don't. And so we do provide bereavement services as well for the families. Edmark does not leave a family really until the family is ready to break away on their own.
Edmark was the very first program in the country designed specifically to meet the needs of children with life-threatening illnesses and their entire family. And being in existence for about 35 years now, I think we realized way back then that keeping the family together was really the most important thing we could do. And so a child with a life-threatening illness changes everything, all the dynamics that a family experiences. And so when a child is diagnosed with a cancer or a genetic disorder or a neuromuscular disease, it not just affects that little one, but their moms, their dads, their brothers, their sisters, everyone who is considered a part of their family, even best friends, the schools that they attend. And so Edmark is about caring for that child, getting those little ones out of the hospital. And I use that phrase little because we take care of newborns through age 17. And so getting them out of the hospital and getting them home, integrated into the things that are safe and normal and consistent and comfortable. We know that research supports that when we can get kids in those environments, they actually thrive. And in many situations, unfortunately not enough, some of those kids actually get better. And we're seeing a trend that the earlier they get involved in Edmark's programs, and that the inpatient side of healthcare does what they do, and we extend care out into their homes. And so it's really the best of both worlds, making sure that we can maximize their quality of care while keeping them in what they know as normal.
Next on Portsmouth Now, we'll give you a preview of another of the city's annual festivals. This one's celebrating its 24th year. That's coming up right after this commercial break.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course. This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water, and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to this episode of Portsmouth Now, where we're looking at special events taking place throughout Portsmouth in the month of May. Lots of shows, art shows, festivals, events, and one of the big annual events every May is the Emoji Festival. And I'm joined by Arthur Williams, who's going to tell us more about it. Arthur is from the Department of Parks, Recreations, and Leisure Services. Thanks for joining us, Arthur.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
So tell us, for those who don't know, what is the Emoji Festival?
Your Emoji Festival in a traditional sense, Umoja means unity. It's a Swahili word for unity. And just as they celebrate the Day of Unity during Kwanzaa, we celebrate Umoja Festival as an African cultural festival here in Portsmouth.
Okay, so what types of things does one find at the Umoja Festival?
Umoja Festival kind of holds a lot of things in place. We do a lot of retail vendors, a lot of sales, and what you would find in normal shops. We kind of set up the same way. We do some things with our food that's a little different, but we give you a nice little mix of concessionaires. We have a children's area that the kids love on Saturday and Sunday with all types of activities for the kids. And then, of course, the main attractions are our national and our local entertainment.
Great. Now, we like the vendors and things, the clothes. Is this like African clothing, African-inspired clothing?
A little assortment of everything. We have some, of course, the traditional African garments, and we have some trendy clothing. We have the sunshades and the earrings for the ladies and the jewelry and a little bit of everything you find out. We do have a young lady who'll be coming in and selling books. She's a local author who's published her own book. So a nice little assortment of everything for everyone.
Okay, now I understand that every year some elders are chosen to preside over the festival.
Exactly. The elders are extremely important because in the old African community, it was the elders who gave permission for the ceremony to begin. So just we're following that same line. And so once the elders give us permission, and these two elders are from our senior station program, once they give us permission to start our program and start the festival, it officially begins.
So that little ceremony, that sort of kicks everything off on Friday night?
It does. Friday night we have our opening ceremony with our mistress of ceremony. She's a celebrity MC from Wavy 10, Anita Blanton. She'll be our guest MC, and then our seniors will give us the official go-ahead, and then we get started.
Okay. Now, there's lots of music throughout the weekend, live entertainment?
Lots of music. On Friday night, we have DJ B from 103 Jams is going to kick the party off for us and get us all in the mood for some music. And then we're going to have Against All Odds, which is a great fan favorite, a local group. And then right after them, one of the better bands in the area, Strictly Business, will perform at 9.
Okay, great. Now, so this is a 3-day festival. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The dates are May 23rd,
May 24th, 25th, Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
Memorial Day weekend.
All right. Well, thanks for coming here to tell us all about it. Be sure to check out the 24th Annual Umoja Festival, May 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the Antilles Pavilion, right?
Antilles Fairgrounds, yes,
okay, great. Check it out. Monday, May 26th is Memorial Day, and towns and cities across the U.S. will sponsor parades in honor of our men and women who served in uniform. The number of Memorial Day parades nationwide has decreased somewhat in recent decades. But here in Portsmouth, the parade marches on. This May 26th will mark Portsmouth's 130th annual Memorial Day parades. Some people claim that makes the Portsmouth Parade the oldest continual Memorial Day parade in the country. A tradition since 1884, the parade salutes the service and sacrifices of the men and women of the United States Armed Forces and celebrates Portsmouth's proud military heritage. This year's parade will include floats, marching band units, armed force units, lots of excitement, and much more. For more information, call Parks, Recreation, and Leisure Services at 757-393-8481. The events we looked at on today's show are just a few of the dozens of events taking place throughout the month of May and throughout every month of the year. To see a schedule of each month's events and to find out more about any of them, simply log on to www.portsvaevents.com. And then come to Portsmouth, where if you give us a day, we'll give you a vacation. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me next month for another episode of Portsmouth Now.